Hi guys. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? This is Duff. As you can see, I just thought I would check in with everybody, see how everybody's doing this morning. If you'd like to join me here, let me just put up the stream, and you can join me live on screen. I would love to know how everyone's doing. Checking in with everybody. Let me just get another one up here. Hold on. There we go. So if you want to join me on screen, I'd love to talk to peeps and see how everyone's doing. I was about to go live with my guests on my show around the world. That over there, right there, around the world. But they didn't show up. They were in Hong Kong. They are in Hong Kong. I hope everything's okay for them. I have no idea. I don't know if perhaps the Chinese government cut off emails. Don't know, but I didn't hear from them, and I'm wondering if they actually are okay, because I think it's about 8 p.m. in China right now. So there was a lot of stuff that went down today with China and regulations and governmental meetings. So if anyone knows, my two friends, Sean and Greg in Hong Kong, I think Chad and Dawn were the ones that connected me. I would love to know how they are. If you want to come on screen and join me, I've put the joining thing right there. I'd love to talk to people and see. It would be great to check in with everyone and see how they're doing. It's a little bit rainy today in Toronto. It's May 28th, just so you know, Thursday. Yeah, so I'll give you a little COVID update if you don't have a television or you're not tuned in. I found a really interesting fact actually in regards to China and Canada, and I wanted to share that with you. So China has 84,106 COVID cases and 4,638 deaths. Canada, with much less of a population, has almost exactly the same amount of cases, 87,519 cases, and more deaths than China. So we need to wear our masks. 6,858 deaths in Canada as of today. The USA, on the other hand, has 1,699,176,000 cases and 100,418 deaths. So that's quite intriguing statistics. Globally, again, 5,691,790,000 cases globally. So yes, yeah, crazy times. I think they are loosening up some of the regulations in Canada today, which I don't think is such a good thing. What do you guys think? I'd love for you guys to comment on the side and let me know what your thoughts are on COVID and what's happening in your world. Those are some really interesting things. Also, strangely enough, as I was saying on my other broadcast, is that it was kind of last year was kind of a Chinese year for me. I was cast in a movie called Claws of the Red Dragon, and that actually is only found, I think, on NTTV or something like that. You can stream it. You can buy it for $5, I think, online. And so that movie is based on the Huawei scandal, which actually today hit the headlines again. I think Canada has gone ahead with proceedings and against the CFO Ming. So things don't look so rosy for Ming. That's not really a great thing. But I guess the U.S. thanked Canada for taking that on. We didn't have to, but we also we're playing our cards right as well, right? We've got two Canadians that have been detained there, and they were working and living in China. The two Michaels, actually. I don't know if you've heard about. A lot of my friends actually don't know about the Huawei scandal. I have a Huawei phone. I'm actually terrified that it might actually just stop working one day because it seems like the company is going to fold. So Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor, I played one of the Michaels in the movie, but I didn't get any credits in the movie, and I wasn't in the final credits. So but anyway, I didn't really say anything, so I didn't expect a credit, but it would have been nice to you guys out there who. So Ming, who is the head of Huawei, she is being held in Vancouver she's under house arrest. Although today she might have, it might be a different story. She's, has a mansion in Vancouver. The U.S. thanked Canada, as I said, for the continued assistance in the case against Ming, but everyone's playing their political cards. Good morning, Sarah. Hi, honey. And she's accused of lying to an HSBC executive in Hong Kong about Huawei's control of a company that was violating U.S. economic sanctions against Iran. So, yeah, that's a woman might have thought that she was untouchable, but she ain't. Girl, you better be careful what you're doing. So some notes about Hong Kong. I actually noted this on my live stream, but I hope I haven't heard from my guests from my live stream on YouTube. So I hope they're okay, Michael and Sean. I am a radio show host, Jen. Sarah's chiming in, and Jen's there. Hi, Jen. Yes, I'm totally a radio host. I mean, I might as well be. I don't have anything else to do. And you can join me here if you want. Come on screen. Tell me how your day's going. Love to see what you're up to. I've got the stream there. The key, you just have to go online and key that in, StreamYard.com, K2E9CR3XX6. And you can join me and we'll have a good chat. Good morning chat. Anyway, so I hope Sean and Greg are okay. They didn't show up to the broadcast this morning to my show around the world. So yeah. So I'm just going to continue my day of China facts, Hong Kong in particular, which has also hit the news this morning. You have to have your morning cup of coffee when you do a morning show, except for mine's chai tea. So yes, Hong Kong is obviously a very densely populated place. I have no idea. Siha, I have no idea what you said. I don't have a translation. So thank you. Thank you for joining anyway. It has the largest number of skyscrapers of any city in the world. It's Hong Kong. Highest life expectancy in the world. Interesting fact. Wonder why that is. If anyone knows, you can chime in. Yes, Edith. Yeah, you never know. Thank you so much. Thanks, Edith. Edith is a sort of distant cousin. She's was married to a second cousin of mine on the McDonald's side of things. So yes, McDonald's. And Edith and I connected through DNA ancestry. So welcome to the family, Edith. Sarah says it's all the testing, right? That's the key. Testing. We are under our testing. I think daily our thing in Ontario is 11,000. We are not hitting 11,000. The other day it was 10,000. That's we need to chop that up. Hey, Zach. Hi, buddy. Very talented. Speaking of talent, Zach Council is a very talented man. I'm so glad to know this gentleman. And yes, so Hong Kong also hosts the largest concentration of ultra high net worth individuals of any city in the world, which is uh, yeah. So they're sort of the go between China, the country of China, and the U.S. and Canada, I think, for financial dealings. So all of this stuff today with sanctions and cutting off this and cutting off that, and Ming being, taken into custody, is going to affect all of that. And also, I think China is trying to meld Hong Kong into their web. And I just hope everyone's okay in China, in Hong Kong. There's also a lot of riots happening there today. I think I had a picture of this horrible morning photo, but this is the reality of what's happening there. So it's very sad, and but it's also much needed. They're trying to be a democratic, state, and yes. So if anyone wants to come on, Lena, hello, how are you? It's good to see people up and about. It's a little bit overcast today. So yesterday was beautiful. It was a beautiful day out there. There was lots of people out, and I found people were socially distancing. I'm avoiding the areas that are heavily populated. I don't. It scares the crap out of me. There's just too many people not wearing masks, and I don't. I know that the rate outside is not very high. I know that you the chances of you getting something. Thanks, Lena. Um, oh yeah, I think it is going to pour, Jen. The chances of you getting or contracting COVID outside in a large group it's lower, they were saying today, than obviously than indoors. But if you're in a group of 10,000, let's say, in in Trinity Bellwoods Park, which is a park in Toronto, your chances are higher because I was there actually on that day, and people were very close, no masks. And I don't really I mean, I do understand somewhat of their thinking, and there's a few friends of mine who are into the whole herd immunity, but this thing is so contagious, and there's not enough people getting tested, and there's not enough people giving what do they call it, somebody can help me out, the hemoglobin, not the hemoglobin, anyway, giving the blood that has been exposed. And so I think that we still got to be very careful. I mean, I wrote a play about the pandemic of 1918, and it was based on a great uncle of mine who was a doctor during the 1918 pandemic in Saskatchewan, actually in Arcola, Saskatchewan. And I'm sure back then it wasn't really a hot spot, as Saskatchewan, because it's so scarcely populated. It's never really been that hard hit. But what people don't know is that the troops came home from World War One, and they were carrying COVID, or not COVID, the influenza, Spanish flu, back into the country, and that's when everything blew up. So think of platelets. Thank you, Jen. Yes, yes. Hey, Stephen. Good morning. Platelets. Thanks, Jen. I knew I could count on you, Jen. So yeah, that we have to learn our lessons from the past. Um, a lot of the same things were happening in 1918. I'm also reading a book. If you guys get a chance, there's a great audiobook, as well as you can pick it up. It's called The Great Pandemic, and I think the guy's name is John M. Barry. It's really interesting, and it gets into all the details of the pandemic of 1918, and it gives you a perspective on where we're at and where they were at. It was the same thing. They were canceling large events. I think one of the biggest, I think it was a hockey event, was happening across Canada, was canceled, and they took the arena, and and transformed it into a hospital. So that's happening, right? There were mass graves. I mean, they were talking about huge buggy carts carrying bodies down the main street because there were just so many people. I mean, there was one story that I read about where a family in the morning had been diagnosed, and by that evening, the whole family had been wiped out. I'm sorry to, talk about this kind of stuff this early in the morning, but I think it's really important to arm ourselves with information and to not be delusional. It's really important for us to be proactive and not reactive, to take the steps, and all of us, we have to do that in order to protect ourselves and protect others. Anyway, I didn't want to get into a whole bunch of COVID talk, but that's where we're living. We're living in it right now, and we can't ignore it, really. Uh, how's everybody doing out there? Does anybody have any more comments or questions? I'm sorry to those who were tuning into my show around the world, right there. It's hard to do this. It was pretty much canceled this morning because my guests from Hong Kong didn't show up. I haven't heard from them, and yeah, so I decided I would just go on and chat with everybody. Hey, Sarah, thank you. How are you doing? I hope everything's going well in everybody's lives. I'm intrigued to know what Sia said. Maybe he's still there and would like to let us know what that means. And if it was good morning to you. If it was hello back to you. Anyway, let me just see here. Oh, Jen, what's the show? What do you mean, what's the show? You mean my show? That's the show, Around the World, right there. It's on YouTube and Facebook. God, that's hard to do. Right there. Yes, that's the show. I think that's what you're asking about, Jen. And it's me visiting different countries around the world, talking to different people. Yes. So I'm interviewing people from around the world. It's on YouTube and on Facebook. It's and every three times a week, I pick a country and talk to people on how they're doing. You can actually watch past episodes. I think I've done. Let's see here. I've done 8 episodes, counting today. 8 episodes. Hey, Blaine. Hey, buddy. Good morning. And they're really interesting. The first episode was my friend in the States in Nashville, and then we went to Australia, and where else have we gone? England, Portugal was a couple days ago. Today tried Hong Kong, but to no avail, to no luck. And yeah, what other countries? I think that was it. Antonio, who I talked to, is actually in Portugal, stuck there. Oh, and we talked to a friend in Vietnam, or actually in LA, who was trying to get back to Vietnam. But Antonio, who I talked to in Portugal, he actually he's from Brazil, so that was and lives in Germany. So very interesting. If you want to hear that that episode, it's on YouTube or on Facebook. The episodes are posted there. How's everybody doing? Blaine, how are you doing this morning? Hope you're doing well. If you want to join me on screen, I'd love to talk to you. StreamYard.com, K2E9CR3XX6. I was already set up with my little studio here and ready to talk to my guests, and they didn't show up. So I thought, oh, well, I'll just go online and chat with people and see how they are this morning. I mean, I set up all this stuff, so might as well check in. Blaine, what's happening with you? Got your coffee. Good. Not screener. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, you gotta put your wig on. I have mine on straight, I think. Yeah. Um, yes. So, hello, Anne, another cousin of mine. I think we're second cousins, right, Anne? Anne actually was it was integral in me connecting the dots with my ancestry history. Um, Anne was one of the first people I think I connected with. Um, so my dad was one of three kids. His his father died when he was three, and my grandma, his mother, remarried Johnson from Ontario, actually. Um, and so growing up, I never knew my McDonald history. I never knew the side of the McDonald's. Yes, yes, Jen, I should. So yeah, I should do it. I mean, maybe this is what this is, a whole ancestry session. Um, but I never knew my McDonald history. And then uh, my brother Dale had delved into some of the my tree early in the like 80s, I guess, in the early 80s, and had connected with a couple of people who were second cousins in Ontario. I never knew that Ontario I had a connection to Ontario at all. My dad never talked about Ontario. I always thought that Saskatchewan was uh, was the root of where we came from. Um, so so then I took on the family tree after my brother so gently handed it over to me, and I got obsessed with finding out. So I got my first thing I did was got my DNA done in BC. I had it done twice with a company that was based in BC, and then another company. I think it was called the DNA Project or something like that, and then with Ancestry, which directly connects you with your tree and the names you have input into your tree. So automatically, names came up on my tree, and I contacted Anne, was one of them, and we discussed a whole other side of the line. I mean, my great grandmother. I found out where her grave was in Glencoe, Ontario. I found out, who she was married to. I found out how many kids they had, 11 kids. Uh, it was super intriguing to know. And I had all these photos too of people who I didn't know that another cousin had given me. Um, and then I also was given a letter from, I think it was Anne, or from another cousin, Kathy Walker, I think, gave me a letter that detailed history of every family member of the McDonald side. So then I started putting those names into Ancestry. And of course, then things just snowballed from there. And it's been incredible, like finding out where my family came from, going to Scotland and actually going to the places where my family were. I can't tell you the empowerment I got from doing that. So thank you to Anne. And we also had a photo that had, I don't know, 15 people in it that we always thought, hey, Karen, that we always thought, hey, good morning, was the McDonald family. So we were always trying to figure out who was who in this photo. And it actually turned out that the photo was not the McDonald's at all. It was the French family from Chatham area. And so then I contacted the French family, and they were so happy to get this photo that was like a tin photo from the 1800s. Um, so yeah, that's been super intriguing. Hey Blaine, um, God, I've gone back. Well, the McDonald's side, I've gone back. I think I hit a roadblock because it's been super difficult with McDonald. And my real name is Donald McDonald, and my dad's name was Donald McDonald, and his dad's name was Angus, but then his dad's name was Donald McDonald, and and then everyone's married to a Catherine in my family, so God, it's so hard to find the correct records going back. And sometimes they married a McDonald. So my great grandfather, married, or great great grandfather married a McDonald. So I'm like, so, and then the Mick and the Mac, it's really tough. And especially Eastern Canada, ship records. There's like, each family has Donald, and each one has a Angus, and each one has it's nuts trying to figure it all out. But I've gone back. I've confirmed. My great 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 grandfather was Duncan MacDonald, and I know that for sure because I found a death certificate of my great grandfather, and on there it stated, and I know I found the gravestones in Glencoe, Ontario, of them as well, and they're buried very close to my great grandfather. So yeah. Oh, I got a message here. So yeah, super intriguing. And thanks, Blaine. Thank you. Yeah, it really changes your life, actually. I find, especially during times like this, you may not think it affects you, but I think back of what my great grandmother went through. She had 11 kids. She lived in a thatched hut, probably sod. Um, then her husband dies at the age of 54. She's left with all those kids. So when I think I'm having a rough day, I think of Catherine McClarty, my great grandmother, and it seems to put it all into perspective. I'm like, okay, I can get through this. I can carry my groceries from the store because they were carrying water from the lake, which was 2 miles away or 5 miles away. Let me just hold on. I got a message here. They must have gotten the wrong day. Oh, so I think my guests screwed up on the day. Um, they were supposed to, because in Hong Kong it's a day ahead. So I thought I put that in the email. Anyway, my guests that were supposed to be on my show this morning, they're a day ahead. So they were supposed to tune in. Actually, it's already tomorrow there. So yeah, anyway, they should have tuned in yesterday. If you can explain that to me, you get $100. Blaine, I'm sure Blaine is a flight attendant, I believe. Still, are you still a flight attendant, Blaine? Have you flown to Hong Kong? I'm just gonna check and see if my friend Don will come online with me. Sorry, guys, I'm just checking in there. Yeah. Oh, so Blaine said, sure. Oh yeah, that's right. So Porter Airlines, for those of you who don't know, or I don't know where people are joining me from here today, but Porter Airlines just flies in, I think, just regionally, right? Yeah, regionally, obviously, and that's been canceled. So I'm interested. Oh, okay. No, he doesn't want to join me online. Everyone's in bed still. I should be in bed. Um, what was I going to say? Oh, I'm interested to know, Blaine, what the airline has done for you. Are you on paid leave? Have they given you any compensation? Is there any hope to go back to that? Love to know what's happening with the airline industry, because some of my friends are slated to go back in June, I think, which is, it's almost June. Um, I'd love to know what's happening with Porter, Blaine. Blaine, Blaine, are you there? Blaine? I think my friend Don is gonna come and join me on screen. And we'll see how he's doing. So Blaine says I was laid off on March 21st. Oh, good. That's good. Great. and their restart flight's on July 29th. Still quite a ways away. But it's good to at least have some sort of, and I know that they're going to have some major restrictions in terms of spacing and masks. You have to wear masks. I'm interested to know, Blaine, are they spacing people out on the plane? What will be the actual regimented, way of flying? Will there be screens between? Because they're talking about that. Great. That's good. Whew. That's good because they're talking about cutting off the CERB for us. And he said the date might get pushed back. Right. Yeah, depending, right? We don't know what's happening in our world right now. So we'll see what happens with that. But I'd be interested to know, have you heard anything about how they're going to fly in, what sort of measures are they going to put in place? Yeah, right. Spacing will be difficult, that's for sure. I mean, I remember when I worked on Princess Cruises for quite a few years, and we were hit with norovirus and quite a few things, but I don't actually ever remembering them asking us to wear a mask, which now seems crazy on a ship that has recycled air. I always got sick every time I got on board. I would get some sort of respiratory thing, and always carried my bee pollen and anti-inflammatory stuff that it would, yeah. Oh, hey, James. Thanks. Thank you. My normal show got canceled this morning. Yes, everyone will have to wear a mask for sure. But I find that intriguing. I actually don't remember us being as freaked out over SARS in Toronto. I know it wasn't as infectious. It wasn't an airborne thing, really, was it? But this is, I feel like they don't know enough about the airborne factor of it. It seems to change all the time. I mean, when it first came out, I wore a mask right away, and I was trying to tell everyone to wear a mask, and people were telling me not to, and I was overreacting, and now everyone's wearing a mask. So, yeah. So I think my friend Don is going to come on. Everyone's still in bed. I'm going back to bed. Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, let me just send him the link. How are you doing, James? I think weren't you traveling, James? I swear before all of this happened, you were off to somewhere. Where were you? Were you in Italy? Can't remember. I'm just going to send. Oh, hold on, folks. Hold on. Just sending this to my friend. So yeah. James says if it means I can travel, I will wear a mask or bathe in a vat of Purell. Exactly. I'm actually interested to know Italy. That's what I thought. So wow, a week before. So Corona must have been kicking around. Obviously, it didn't start in January. Like, okay, now I'm gonna start a pandemic. They obviously Corona was around. Well, it's been around for quite some time, but it was around before Italy got hit. So I guess you were probably exposed to it, James, early on. At some point, you must have been around it because Italy was so heavily hit. There's my friend Don. Let's see if he's still awake. And
hello.
Oh, Donald, how are you?
What the hell are you doing up at such an early hour?
Well, I was supposed to. A couple of your friends were supposed to be on my show today, and they didn't show up.
Let me guess. Mark?
Yes, actually.
Shauna.
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
um,
It was just head overseas a little bit further. Go head north, actually, a little bit into the hotbed of activity right now.
let me guess. They're in another time. They're on another day. They
Yeah,
probably got the day mixed up.
I think they got the day and the week and the year mixed up, which is totally understandable under the circumstances. I'm barely here. How are you?
I'm
Sorry to wake.
good.
Did I wake you up?
Well, it's not that early. It's like 7:53 a.m. my
Uh,
time here in
Peanuts.
Nashville, but it's not that big of a deal.
Peanuts.
Peanuts. How are you? What's going up in Toronto? I heard there's more COVID going on up there because of all this non-social distancing thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was bound to happen, right? Like with everyone, oh my God, I'm gonna party in the park with 10,000 of my friends and nothing will happen to me, man. I mean, yeah, now we're getting everyone's getting hit, So
People are going through that phase, I think, where they think that it's well, I still think they're going to probably document this, I think, after all this is over, but there's like all these different phases you go through. And I've gone through some of them. I haven't documented them, but it's like, you go through the phase of, oh, it's just like the common cold. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
And then there's, holy shit, this is real. And then, okay, I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to become a survivor.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh,
I'm losing my mind.
I'm losing my mind. I'm going to drink more. And then
there was a time, right, where we were full on, like, I'm drinking every night. I'm like, I went through all my booze so fast.
yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah. And then you sort of go through it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go out. I can't handle this anymore. I'm getting sick of the person I'm around or whatever. I'm sick of myself. I need to talk to
sick of my cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is probably just another phase. And sadly, someone will go out and they'll go to Belwoods Trinity Park and they'll get COVID and they'll go home and give it to their grandmother or their daughter or their son. And then they'll die and then they'll wonder why the world is horrible and why God did this to them.
Right.
And don't even fucking get me started on that. Jesus Christ. It's
too early. How do you really feel? How do you really feel?
It's going to be a completely different interview for the last one.
It's true. Well, the last one didn't exist, so anything's better than the last one. Yeah. All it takes is one person to fuck it all up, and then there we are, right? So, yeah.
Or we can just, let's talk about something else. That's two news articles this week are equally as despicable, actually more despicable.
Oh, great. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, the Minnesota Police Department, killing people in the street. Yeah. Fucking, I don't know if you saw that video, but it's so disturbing. It's unbelievable.
I couldn't watch it. I'm like, I can't go there. I can't watch it. Yeah.
I think everyone should watch it though. Actually, that's the thing. Yeah. As much as we don't want to watch it, we should watch it. It's fucking unbelievable.
Especially Americans. They need to, but it just never ends. It seems like they just don't learn their lesson. And and this is has nothing to do with gun laws. This is actually the police are corrupt. Like the police
they're so corrupt. They've been corrupt forever. It's not a new thing.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing. And racism is breathing completely well and happy in America.
Yeah.
And all over the world. It's not just America, but it's just happening more in America. And it's unbelievable.
You're there. You're in Nashville, right? Mm-hmm. You're still there. And what's the climate like there? What's that like living there?
It's about 14 degrees today.
Fahrenheit, of course.
It's raining, but it's a nice rain. It's drizzling.
No, I don't mean that.
What?
The political climate.
Oh well,
it's cloudy. It's raining.
Tennessee is known to be a red state.
Yeah.
but Nashville itself is more liberal. It's probably more. It's like they call it like the blue dot.
Right.
Um,
Oh,
there's other blue dots
interesting.
within the state, I think, but
So it's blue within the red. It's like a
yeah,
pinpoint
yeah.
of.
But
That's interesting.
but going on to my second article of enjoyment this
Yes,
week,
please.
that fucking Karen in Central Park who called the police on an African American bird watching gentleman who's super sweet.
She's Canadian.
Was she Canadian?
Yes.
Oh my god.
She's just there, like embarrassing for us. As far as I know, she's Canadian, unless someone else can tell me. But as far as I read, she's a damn Canadian.
Let's Google it. I'm gonna Google it right now. What was her name again?
Not let her back into the country.
Bitch ass Cooper.
Yeah, Amy Cooper. Which
Amy?
is, I think so. Yeah. Oh, James is James is normally at the side. Yeah, me too, James. Oh, he was sick.
She went to school in Canada, it says. At the University of Waterloo. Hold on, but there's evidence that she's a Canadian citizen, though people on social media have called her deportation. Right. Maybe she is. I don't know.
Let's deport. But
that tells you right there. It's like in the middle of New York City, Central Park, a Canadian chick who apparently we're supposed to be a little bit more advanced, but we're not. You know, doing what she did, like it's unbelievable.
Yeah,
so unbelievable.
Well, and what's even more, there were a few things going on in that video. There was the poor fucking dog. The dog, I was like, oh my god, poor little. She was choking the thing. Like,
I know.
Oh my god, she almost killed her dog. And then the other thing I found intriguing about that video is her fake panic. Like, oh my god, I'm being attacked, just to get the police there. Mm-hmm. And he was nowhere near her, being so polite and so sweet. Like, ma'am, please step away. Like, but she was, you hear her on the phone, like, I'm being attacked by an African American. Like, that's what it sounded like, right?
Yeah. Oh no, her acting classes came in just fine. She's probably appearing on Broadway.
She's studying at HB Studio.
Yeah, like seriously.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin works at Drayton.
That just blows my mind. My mind. It was so disturbing, and they've since done some interviews with the African American guy whose last name is also Cooper. I can't remember his first name.
Oh, really?
I'm not. They're not related, obviously. But
it was all set up. It was set up. I know it.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. We'll find out. I don't think so, though.
Set up by two idiots with the same last name.
But just apparently, like, from the things I've read, I haven't seen any live interviews with him, but things I've read, he's been a bird watcher.
That's right.
I think he's gay. Don't quote me on that world.
You're already quoted, so it's too late.
Yeah. But apparently has gone there to bird watch for years. Yeah. And that's just where he goes. And this woman had her dog off the leash, and all of a sudden and then her lame ass apology that she wrote, but he went online saying something along the lines of the fact that that we should, he begged the public to not send her any more death threats. He was like being nice towards her.
Wow.
Which is good for him.
But he rose above it.
Her behavior is so apparent, and it's just
abhorrent, I think is the and people, I think everything's just kind of like come to the surface during all of this, since Trump, actually. Everything. I mean, people talk about it's always been there. It just needed to be, what's the word? Brought up.
Just a light was shining. He's just just shining a light on it. As much he's a dick. He's a total dick. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. He just happens to be the one that's shining the light on and bringing it out as well. Because I think his last. He made a comment. I don't know if he tweeted it or whatever, but he said something about, to the police, don't worry about how you're handling these situations. Just handle like how you do. like basically saying, "Hey, it's okay what you did."
Oh yeah,
It's
right. I saw that
unbelievable.
headline. That was last night, right, or something, or
Yeah,
today.
something I read it before I went to bed. It was just like, oh
Ay,
my
ay,
god.
ay.
I just
What
don't.
James said released. Who's
Oh, did
released?
the cops they were fired. Four of them were fired, but they
Oh,
better bloody well be charged. Those cops that they're talking about
yeah.
in
They better be
Minnesota.
charged. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So, so that was just in Minnesota. That one involved 4 cops just in Minnesota. And wasn't there another incident yesterday? Another similar type of thing?
I'm not sure.
I thought I saw
It
something.
wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. How are you doing? Are your allergies still bad down there?
No, they're actually pretty good. They're
Oh,
pretty
that's
good.
good.
I haven't had any issues in the last little while. It's
I,
usually the first part of spring where they're really bad for me.
yeah. I think our bodies, like once it starts, once this all starts, summer starts, then your body kind of goes, oh, this is the time
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
make this person look ugly for a couple weeks.
So who's your guest on Saturday? Tell me a little bit about them.
Janja is actually she's quite well known in Sweden. She's a friend of Jennifer Copping, Jen Copping from
Yeah,
Vancouver.
yeah, yeah.
And Janja is in Sweden. I think I had an interview. She was just on Sweden television a couple of days ago, and I don't know much about her actually, other than she's there. And I was going to start researching. Hopefully they're not a day behind or ahead. I think Sweden's 8 hours ahead,
Yeah, something like that.
something like that.
Is
So
she a performer?
I think so, yes.
Wow, okay.
But I haven't done my research on her yet. I have to every episode I have to sort of focus on each person in each country because it's overwhelming. Like today, my notes on Hong Kong were quite extensive because there's just so much going on there, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You'll have to have them on again. They probably just got the day mixed up.
Yeah.
They probably thought it was tomorrow at 8 or
Yeah. Well, it's really confusing when it's the whole day ahead thing. And then for me to explain that in my email, for me it's ahead, but for them it's behind. So maybe they were thinking, I don't know, maybe then, Toronto is also different than Vancouver. We're 3 hours.
Yeah, even when I do like my table reads and stuff that I do, I use a lot of actors from the Pacific Coast. So it's kind of like I'm always very, very clear. It's like, okay, I'll see you Thursday, 8 o'clock Pacific Coast time.
Yeah.
See you then.
Yeah.
And I don't mention my time at all because then they get mixed up.
Exactly.
Just put it in their time and make sure I put a note on my side.
Oh, this is a big tweet. Twitter labeled one of his tweets unsubstantiated, and now he's signing an executive order to curb social platforms. Oh yeah, he's trying to curb social platforms because Twitter tried to kick him off.
Well, they try to fact check him.
Oh,
They're fact checking him, and so
he doesn't like that shit.
Yeah.
Nobody holds Trump down.
I don't want to talk about him. He's an asshole.
It's funny how it came right back around to that. I know you hold webinars because you're a writer, right? And what was your last webinar? What was it?
It was for a show called An American Dream, going back to America and gun violence in America. And
yeah, right.
It's really more about the overall theme of the show. It's a 1 hour drama pilot episode that I wrote, but the overall theme of this project is really what's your breaking point. And I'll give you a quick rundown of how I came up with the story. But I was living in LA at the time, and I don't turn my TV on in the morning ever. It's just something I don't really do, just because I don't have time for it. Yeah. And I usually watch like the news later in the evening, sort of thing. Anyways, that morning, something told me to turn the TV on. I had this really weird feeling, and so I turned on my TV, and there was another mass shooting that was happening, and it was happening in Oregon.
Right.
And I got really upset. I was so angry that I wanted to just rip my TV off the wall and throw it out the effing window. And Of course they didn't, but I got really upset. I started crying. It was really weird. And
Oh,
then after I sort of calmed down, I was like, why are you so neurotic? Like, seriously, it's like,
yeah,
you don't even know anyone. It's not like it really affected you, but
yeah,
it did. It affected me to my core. And I was just really upset by it. And I was trying to figure out, why the hell these people are doing this?
yeah.
Why there's so
Where is
much
it
gun
based in?
violence, and what's it based in?
Yeah,
And then I decided to sort of put myself in their shoes. And I was like, well, what would make me do that? What would make me go into, there's a gun shop down the street from where I live here. It's like I
right.
could go down to that gun shop, I could get a gun,
Yeah,
I could get lots of bullets, and I could just start shooting people
yeah.
randomly. And I could come home and shoot people I love and shoot
Anybody
the
could. Yeah,
dog. And
yeah,
like, but what would take me to that point? What would take me to that breaking point?
yeah,
And so that's what really started the whole story for me, is it basically, what is your breaking point as a human? And it's
yeah.
not just about shooting other people, or taking acts of revenge upon other people,
No,
but what would it take for you to kill yourself?
yeah,
Why is there suicide out there? And why would you take a gun and put it to your head and blow your brains out?
yeah. You always wonder what the impetus, like for example, like some of those killings in the States were 13-year-old boy. Like what is in a 13-year-old boy's head? He's been 13 years on this planet. What at what point from when he was born to 13 did he go, I'm going to kill everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that coming from, and why? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, it's
13 years of being on this planet. Like, yeah. So that
mhm.
that's such a timely thing, Don. I'm really proud of you for doing that and writing that. It's a series, right?
Yeah, a TV series. It's the
Yeah.
first episode that I wrote. Basically, I'm trying to sell it to, well, not sell it, but get it developed and made.
So the webinars you do are exploring that with a
I,
company that you work with, or
I work with a company. I also work with a company out of LA called Roadmap Writers,
okay,
and they basically help you hone your pitches. They help you develop your scripts.
right,
And then they introduce you to managers and agents and executives from all over the Hollywood scene, and abroad in New York and that sort of thing.
right,
And so you do Zoom meetings with them, and you get to pitch your ideas, and sometimes they request your scripts and sometimes they don't, depending on the pitch.
yeah.
And so you really learn how to just really pitch really well, pitch
It's so
projects.
good. It's so
Yeah.
good because, like, sometimes when like, I know I've written a few things and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what once it's done. Like a lot of people who aren't connected, who don't have a literary agent or whatever, you don't know what to do. Like, what's the next step, right? So, like,
Yeah.
it's really good for connect. And I know you've have made some good connections with like managers and agents and in that
Yeah.
regard too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And once you get a manager or an agent, they help you a lot to get you into those meetings. And so on and so forth. You still have to do a lot of work. It's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of building relationships and getting to know people. And it's a long trek, but it's, the writing itself, it's a whole nother thing. There's just like anything. It's like the actor's world, right? It's like you have your business stuff you have to do, and you have your creative stuff you have to do.
Yeah,
Like, as much
totally.
as you can be the most talented guy in the world, if you can't get into a room,
Well, yeah, it's show business.
yeah, exactly. It's a business.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
the problem. A lot of schools don't teach their students the business side of everything, like the taxes, like being self-employed. What you're going to be up against, right? When you get out into
Yeah.
the world and like
Yeah.
and promoting yourself and publicity and marketing, like it's so important.
That's where I know a lot of acting schools go wrong, as far as
Yeah.
like places that they don't prepare the students for the real world. They don't really
No.
prepare them for the business side of it.
No, because you
You
could be
know,
talented as all shit, but if you don't have the connections and you're not going to the right party,
or if you just
um,
don't have the drive,
yeah,
you have to have a thick skin, and you have to have the drive to want to really do it.
yeah,
I'm not sure if you can teach that, to be honest, that part of it. Like, if you really, if you kind of want to be an actor, or you kind of want to be a singer, I'm not sure that's enough. You
no,
have to really want to have to do it. And you need to wake up in the morning and want to have to really do it, because
yeah,
you need to do it, because it's just part of your your DNA.
Totally.
It's like you starting the show. It's like, you know, you did this primarily because you just wanted to stay creative and learn about different people and places and things and keep that sort of thing going. So,
Yeah.
you know, without that, you wouldn't be doing it.
No. And, you know, we got to do something. I think, well, I took a, uh, workshop with a casting director from LA a long time ago. We used to have these, Vancouver used to bring in a lot of casting people from LA, and we used to go to Seattle too to have these casting, to go to meet with these big casting directors. And I remember one casting person saying, you need to put it in like at 150% because there's a million other people who are going at 100. You know, they're like doing whatever they can to get that work. They've got the connections, like, and you can't be at 70. You just won't get anywhere unless you have like an uncle who's a executive or something. But that's, you know, like there's too many other people working their ass off and studying, and
it's way too competitive to be lax about it. You know, it's just like, you know, you have to also be realistic in a lot of sense. It's like, you know, if you're, you know, as an actor, especially, it's like if you're constantly going out for certain parts, you know, it's like, and you're not getting them, it's because you're not that part. Like, and
then there's just like destiny or fate, right? Like,
exactly.
James and ended a fiery crash. Oh, yes. It's a hard business.
That's right, Jennifer. It's actually, the craft is amazing. You can also love the craft, but not like the business. It's a hard business. Yes.
It's true. Yeah.
Very true.
And
that's why a lot of people though, too, you know, it's like they're completely content with just doing the craft and not necessarily having to worry about making a living doing it. Yeah. And that's okay too. It's, you know, I think if more people, you know, take Dumbfuck in the White House. If he actually had some sort of creative,
Donald Dumbfuck, I like that.
Yeah, Donald Dumbfuck. If he had some sort of like creative outlet of some sort, just creative, just something, just one little tiny thing.
We had a reality show, Don.
Well, we know how reality shows
president.
Yeah. Motherfucker. But you know what I mean?
I don't think he was a creative anything. And I mean, Hitler was one of the greatest artists, and look what he did.
Yeah. Well, you know, it makes me think though, like you were talking about the 13-year-old kid who picks up a gun and shoots and kills people, right? Yeah. I remember a time when, I don't know about you, but in my school, when I was a kid, we had gym class, we had art class, we had all these different classes.
Yeah.
And then the arts classes got cut. A lot of arts programs got cut in schools, and they have to this day, I'm quite certain. I would probably research that, but I wouldn't surprise me.
Most of them have.
A lot of those arts programs have been cut.
Yep.
And a big part of that, I would think, has caused people to be moving in a different direction. I'm not saying that cutting arts classes has caused gun violence, but I don't know, maybe.
Well, they're definitely on their PlayStation more than they are sitting down, you know, drawing something.
Sorry, I'm busy, Duff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have to text someone right now. I'm on my TikTok. Just leave me alone.
I have no idea what the hell TikTok is. You know what I'm intrigued by is TikTok. I want to know how people do those little dancey things. Are they actually watching side by side a video of the person with the worst music underneath? What is that thing where it's just like this and then the guy just does?
Oh my God, it's so dumb. I
don't really understand how people reenact the dance that they see on there. Are they playing it back? Have they just remembered the choreography? I don't get it.
I don't know.
And I don't know why. They're like, look what I can do.
Did you see that one TikTok where that guy, he's this sort of big burly guy, and he has his two daughters next to him, and they start that dance, and then there's a guy on the other side of the camera, and the big burly guy is doing his thing, right? And he goes, stop. And he's like, okay, put up your hand if you're gay. And the two girls walk away, and the guy goes,
that's great.
It's pretty funny.
This girl's alive.
And then you're like, oh my God, this big burly macho man just turned into a
Don't judge a
princess.
book by its cover.
Yeah,
Don't
but
judge the
he
book.
was very funny. I liked
That is
it,
funny.
and I followed him. So
Oh, that was supportive of you.
yeah, you should
Well,
start doing TikToks.
I have a few. Actually, my handle is.
I know
I
you
do.
should have it down in the bottom there on
Sure.
your little streamer thing.
I'm just lucky. I got up this morning.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, this has been an interesting trip to Hong Kong and back.
Yeah, it sure has. We were supposed to go here. This is where we were supposed to be this morning.
I've been to Hong Kong numerous times. It's
You
quite
have? Oh,
Hong Kong's quite beautiful.
So tell me, who needs those guys? I don't need them. I just have you.
There are a lot of well, in Hong Kong, you can get around Hong Kong speaking English pretty much.
Oh, right.
You don't really need to know the language, Mandarin or Cantonese or Mandarin Cantonese. I think that's it.
Yeah,
they would know more than I would. But it's Hong Kong is a really vibrant, amazing city.
Is it?
It's funny because it's very much like Vancouver in a lot of ways. It's very mountainous and green, but it's a huge cosmopolitan city. But you can get out of the city pretty quick. There's this big giant Buddha up in the top of a mountain. It's this giant Buddha.
I think I saw you post a picture of that.
Yeah, and it's an amazing city, Hong Kong, and amazing food. What else? But there, there's a lot of political uprising because Hong Kong is not part of mainland China, so but it's still ruled over by China.
Yeah,
but it's much more. It's not like communist China.
No, they're trying to. Well, that's what all the riots are about. They want to be more democratic, right? Like,
I think so. I think it also. I don't want to mislead anyone, but I think it had to do also with how they were being treated by the government in certain respects. I can't remember.
Yeah, their rules and their rights, right?
Yeah. Something.
Yeah. Well, in my research today, I had written down one country, China, two systems. So that's their sort of motto of Hong Kong is we are one country of China, but we're of two systems. But China, I think today is saying we're taking away that from you. And also the US stepped in and wanted to wave their big fat around. And China is saying, stay out of our affairs, So they're cutting off their own foot, right? Like,
that's weird.
That's where all of the trade. There's so much trade that comes from, and also Canada is suffering because of that too. Like, What's this is what I was going to ask the other guys. What's gay? Is it legal to be gay in China? Is it illegal? Is the act illegal?
In Hong Kong, I don't believe it's illegal, but it's. I don't think you can legally get married. I don't believe. I don't know if you did any research on that part of it, but
I was gonna. I wonder what it's like to live there as a gay man. Like, when you were there, did you go out or anything? Did you?
I went to
underground.
I didn't go out to like a bar, like a gay bar or anything. I went with my friends Greg and Sean. I went with them with a group of other people. Went out for dinner, and there was like 10 of us, and everyone was gay. But and half of them were from there, born there in China. Chinese guys, and but we never really got
a gay area. Is there a gay area?
I think so.
Village?
I think it's sort of little. I think there's little pockets. I don't think it's necessarily as open,
right?
But I'm pretty sure they have. I think they have a gay pride of some sort,
right?
But I doubt I doubt they have gay marriage. But
yeah, are your friends? Are they married?
I believe, they are. Yeah. Greg is originally from America, and Sean is originally from Canada, actually.
Oh yeah, and he's from Nova Scotia or something, right?
I think so. Yeah. And I know they have a place in New York, upstate New York somewhere, and I think they still do. Right. And they have a place in Hong Kong, but I haven't seen them in quite some time. We chat Facebook every once in a while.
When were you last in Hong Kong? Is that where you had a suit that you had made? a special like
Yeah, they had a
tailored
suit
suit?
made. That's quite a long time ago.
Is it
Yeah.
cheap there? Is it cheaper to have a suit tailored there or something? Or-
Yeah, when I was in I've gotten suits made in Vietnam
Oh,
and in Beijing. Beijing was really cheap. I got like two custom made suits
wow.
made for me. Cost like $300 American.
Wow. It's
Yeah,
amazing. And they were I
yeah,
remember they're beautiful, like all hand stitched and right?
yeah. They're very tailored. You know, it's tailored, obviously, custom tailored.
Yeah.
They have lots of that sort of stuff in China.
Right.
But Hong Kong is probably better, a little bit more expensive than like Beijing,
Yeah.
but probably a little bit better quality too, I would think, from what I remember.
It's so interesting. I never knew that actually Hong Kong was a separate thing from China. I was really interested to find that out today. I was like,
Mhm.
this is what's great about going to these different countries and then it's also like hot in the news that it's actually China is trying to get rid of those borders and the two
Yeah.
systems and make it one system. So it's like
Yeah, it's tough. It's they're in a predicament, I think. I don't know enough about it
Yeah.
to really comment, but it doesn't sound great
The
because even
times they are
before
changing.
COVID, there was a lot of rebellion going on.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, I had written down they've been rioting since 2019, like since May, I think, of last year.
Yeah,
So this has been going on for a long time, and the tear
yeah.
gas and
I would say protesting.
protesting. But well, it's
Yeah,
turning into, I mean,
yeah.
look at this photo I brought up. This doesn't look like protesting to me.
Yeah, that's just the police being idiots as usual. Did you see
Yeah.
the protesting or the protesting going on in Minnesota? Did you see that video?
Oh
They
yeah,
were
people gun wielding and right.
they were smashing windows on police cars, and
Oh, I didn't see that.
they broke into, I think, a police barracks area, and they started vandalizing police cars, and it was
That's rioting, isn't that?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's one thing that shouldn't be happening because then there's anger though involved. I understand that. You know, it
That's
makes
about
me angry.
lockdown though, right? Or is that about the gun about the
The
police shooting or is that about
the guy who just got killed, the guy
oh, okay. Right.
who was on the street. It's we should look up his name to give him,
Yeah. Kudos.
his name is George Floyd.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, and there was also Ahmaud Arbery, who was the guy who got shot, but that was down in the south, I believe.
And that's a whole other I think
That's
that
a whole
was the
other.
other thing I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well, yeah.
it's gross.
Yeah. Don, thanks for
Yo,
coming on before you had your coffee.
live from Hong Kong.
Live from your bunker in Nashville, Tennessee. I really appreciate you filling the slot per se.
Well,
Big slot you.
Good luck with your next guest from Sweden, you said?
Yeah, from
Okay.
I can't pronounce the name of the place, but yes,
Okay.
Sweden.
I'm looking forward to that. I was looking forward to the Hong Kong one, but
yeah, sure, I was too.
You should reschedule them.
Yeah, I will for next year when I.
Yeah.
Have
you scheduled Zdravko?
No, he said he would, but I might take a week off because it's just a lot. It's a lot of work.
And you were gonna do 5 shows a week.
Yeah, I don't know. I know those guys in the States, Seth Radetsky and his partner. They do 2 shows a day.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm like, I can barely handle one every couple of days because the weekend goes by. I'm like, oh shit, it's almost Tuesday. I have to like book for the next week. So I think I'm gonna go on a vacation. Let me guess.
You're gonna go to Bellwoods Trinity Park.
Yeah, you got it. I'm gonna go put up my umbrella and drink a Mai Tai in Bellwoods Park.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you. Thank you so much for
no problem
imparting your wisdom and knowledge. And I mean, who else can look that good at 8 a.m.? What is it? Oh, it's 9:30 now.
It's 8:30 now. My time.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Say hi to Chad for me.
I will. Okay.
Oh, we've got some other people here.
Wow, this is fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you. See? Great. People are learning.
We're learning about the world.
We're learning. Everybody's learning.
You don't want me to sing.
I do actually. I need music on this show.
You should do like a little new musical number at the end of one of all your shows that has to do with the theme of whatever you.
What could I do? I could do if I had had it all. Well, I started to do like off the top. I started to do a new song every time. For a while, I was doing around the world, and then I was doing and the world goes round and around and round. World goes. But then I ran out of world songs. So.
But when you were doing around was that because your connection was so bad, or was it because you actually?
It was because the connection was so bad, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've had it ever since you got rid of that backdrop. It's been flawless. So that's good.
Damn backdrop was the bane of my existence. Yeah. So it created a fake one, and everything's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
The crew here is happy. They all went home.
Did you give them their coffee? And
yeah.
Okay, good.
They're on a union break.
Well, I'll see you on Saturday on your show. Oh, I won't be on your show on Saturday, but I'll see your show on Saturday.
Okay, please do. And if they don't, if Janya doesn't show up, I'll be calling you.
Okay.
So set your reminder. Okay, I love you.
Love you. Take care.
Thank you. Bye, Donald.
Bye.
Oh, Denelda. That's my affectionate name for him, Denelda. But he doesn't know that. Thanks, you guys, for James, thanks. Yes. Hey, maybe I'll get picked up by morning television as the sort of but I hear they already have a similar show. I think CBC has COVID Diaries, but this is not really about COVID. This is actually about people and their daily lives, and it's a little bit of everything, a little bit of culture, a little bit of what's happening in each country. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope that Greg and Sean are okay in Hong Kong. They were supposed to be my guests this morning on Around the World, but we'll check in with them again and check out on YouTube on Saturday, I think at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be talking with Janya in Sweden. Super interesting that will be, because of they have mostly dealt with herd immunity and didn't really have a lockdown per se. So I'm really interested to talk to her in Sweden. Okay, so everybody, yes, James, this will be the Daily Duff. If the guests on my show don't show up, I'll have an alternate program called the Daily Duff. Thank you, James. I'll be sending a royalty check to you. Okay, guys, cheers. Have a great day. And as I say on my other show, be good to yourselves. Be good to others as well. Bye.